We welcome you to Blues Game Day live here in downtown Boston, one of the great venues in the National Hockey League, alongside Kelly Chase, Darren Pang, and we got lots to talk about today. Obviously, the game against the Boston Bruins is one thing, but we will have a special guest as well in just a couple of minutes from now as the Blues embark on a two-game road trip chaser with the dads in tow, and that's always a fun time. I think it's as fun for us as it might be for the guys, bringing their dads and having them with them for a couple of days. But for us, we're kind of their age, so we probably have more stories with the dads.
You start aging yourself a little when you know you're the same age as the dads on the dad's trip. But I was impressed by the fact that it was about 3 or 4 of the Canadians that got off with the short-sleeve dress shirts on after the bus. All walked outside the bus in Boston. We're just standing there, a couple of them having a cigarette. Just like the old days when I grew up, I was just howling, you know. Cold? This isn't cold. No big deal. It was great. And it's great to see the guys, too, because I think they have a little bit more ambition. You know, I think they're proud of the fact that their parents are here, and I think that they also want to make sure they don't let them down. And it's always been an inspiration for the guys over these fathers' trips, and you've seen it all around the league. So it'll
the
be
record
fun
shows, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, the record shows. I mean, I know that if I were playing, and we didn't certainly do this back in our day, there's only 21 teams when I played, so it wasn't like this cushy league that we got right now.
Way back in the old 21
exactly.
team league.
So, but I would imagine having one of your parents there at the game, boy. I'd be more nervous than ever to make sure that I played my best game, because afterwards you want those you want the pops to taste a little bit better with the parents in tow. And in speaking of that, why don't we bring in one of the great pros in the game, and he's playing some great hockey. But we've got his father here, and Jay Bouwmeester's he was on fire in that last game. He's an Edmonton boy, huh? So we got an Edmonton dad coming up here.
He knows cold weather.
So why don't we bring him in? Come on, here, Dan Bouwmeester, come on over here, and. Here we go, Dan. And listen, as we start this and embark on this, I did the interview with Jay after the last game, which he was one of the stars of the game and just flying out there. Well, you've seen him fly a lot. But he said, yeah, Dad's coming, and he might be wearing a Boston Bruins sweater.
No, I left my Boston stuff at home. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the fact that here you are in Boston for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a check mark on my bucket list.
And your favorite player growing up?
Well, obviously Bobby, but I mean, I was a Bruin fan way before Bobby. And Fern Flaman was the captain at the time. And when I first started playing hockey, I remember the first year I wanted number 14 because that was his number. So
now you're still playing today.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You had was it both hips?
Both hips have been done, but I'm still going strong. So
you thought you'd rest for a while, and then you got back out there.
I thought after the second hip that I was packed my stuff away, and no, it's. I had a great doctor.
Great doctor. Spending too many nights at home, and you said, I can't do this. I got to get out, get back in the locker room with the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. I miss that so much.
That's great.
Yeah. Dan, we've obviously, everybody in the NHL has long admired Jay Bouwmeester's skating ability, and he's told us many times that you're a gifted skater yourself. He gets it from you.
No.
Come on.
No, the story I told him, Jay, watch what I do and do exactly the opposite. That's for sure. You know,
seems to have worked. Well, he's one of those guys that's a pro, obviously, and you've got. What's the thing that you're most proud of him about? Because he's accomplished so many things.
Well, his longevity and how he's battled through injuries. Like right now, he's battling through another one, and. The years he had the Ironman thing going, like in the summer times, it was like surgery here, surgery there, just to get ready for it. But no, I've always just admired. He's not an overly physical player, but he's a responsible player, and defense comes first for him. And I think he's a great player.
And you're a teacher, and your wife as well.
Retired. Yeah, we're both retired. But so.
That's why when I ask him a question, he really looks quizzically at me and makes sure it's a smart question, because he really thinks about the answer.
Well, not only that, he gives you a smart answer.
Yeah,
well, he does.
No, he's a pretty quiet kid, but once you get to know him, he's a pretty funny kid.
We found that out for sure. There's no question he's got a great sense of humor. We're talking before we came on Blues Game Day Live, and we're with Dan Bouwmeester here, and Dan, you mentioned being a teacher. That neat tie-in here, but Jake DeBrusk. Is their first-round draft pick. He's having a great year in his rookie season in the NHL, and you had taught him for at least 1 year in Edmonton.
Yeah, when I retired, I worked at Vimy Ridge, which is a hockey academy in Edmonton, as just a hockey instructor, and Jake was there as a young kid, and I met Louie and Jake before, a long time before that as well, through the Golden Bears when Louis was waiting a contract, and he was skating with the Bears. So, and he'd bring little Jake out on the ice and after, and yeah. So it's amazing when you see these kids now. They're in the NHL. It's amazing.
We're going to have to get you to see him after the game.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah. No,
a little bigger now.
I know. I see him in the summertime at Perry Pern's 3-on-3 camp all the time. So,
when you get an opportunity to come on this trip too, and see all the other fathers here too, is there some kind of a immediate sort of collusion or cohesion with the group, I should say, where you guys all have a chance to chat about the same things?
It's absolutely amazing because like this is the third one, and so you know the guys now. You know their first names and their backgrounds and stuff. So it's like a big reunion almost.
And the guys with the personality, like big Oscar Bortuzzo.
Yeah. Well, he's a great guy, yeah, for sure. But I have to correct you. I've read where our record is 4-0, but it's really 6-0 because the first one you played at home in Nashville, and we were all together at that. Oh. And then the last one was in Montreal. So we're really 6-0. So the pressure.
Winter Classic as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So 7-0 going on today. This trip, there's a lot of pressure on the boys.
Well, they're stretching it. We're stretching out some of them, and our stats guys are not going to be impressed with the fact that you've put them in their place. That's awesome.
Oh, well.
That's awesome.
Okay, let's go back in time here. You mentioned Fern, number 14 for the Boston Bruins. I got to go back. So, I mean, the famous series with Bobby Orr leaping in the air, and there's a statue right out there on Causeway. But you remember that play? Do you remember how that developed?
Sanderson made the pass out of the corner, and Bobby just tucked it in and went for a big leap. Yeah. No, that was awesome. I waited a long time because when I was a young kid, they were at the bottom for a long time, so it was tough, eh? And my brother was a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. Of course, the Leafs in Montreal were big time. My dad was a Chicago fan, for crying out loud. So I was, Boston. But they came on, and they're an awesome franchise now.
So when you saw Bobby Orr then right at the beginning, like when he came out of Perry Sound.
We're kind of the same age, and so you knew that guy, and yeah, he was awesome.
Have you had the opportunity to go out and get a picture with the statue yet?
No, not yet. No.
You better roll out of there.
I'll have
see
to
if you can't
try to
sneak
get back
by there.
get back into the building. That'd be the problem, though.
No,
well, game time.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
We'll get you some identification.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah, this is really.
Knows some people.
And then the other connection too is Jay played against Johnny Boychuk coming up through hockey in Edmonton all the time, and then Johnny got to play with the Bruins and win a Stanley Cup. So yeah, and I see Johnny all the time in the summer. So.
Well, great tie-in, and we really enjoyed. I know on behalf of the entire St. Louis Blues Club, but we enjoy seeing the dads. I think it's as much fun as we mentioned before for us, and we'll tell some stories. Maybe we'll head to the old Anchor Bar in Buffalo and tell a few stories if we can.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, the dads, we appreciate this so much. It's a thrill. So. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's our thrill, Dan, and we appreciate it. Big game tonight against the Boston Bruins. We'd get into that, but that's not nearly as much fun as talking to Pops and just getting the feel for what it's like being a dad on the trip. One more thing before we let you go, though. Not rooming together.
No,
you guys have your separate rooms.
Shocked. Yeah, we've got our own rooms, and wow. I mean, I don't know why, but maybe there were some snores or something that upset the apple cart last couple trips.
Happen.
You never know. You never know. They're so set in their ways, right? Their game day, you know what it was like, right? Like you did your thing the day before.
Yeah, they're 7-0 with you guys snoring.
Yeah, I know. It's the same thing we were talking at breakfast this morning. Geez, I don't at home. I don't eat so much, before the skate and stuff. And yet you come on the road and there's all this food here. And they were Scotty Upshaw and Pareko, and they were saying the same thing. And I said, yeah, but your road record's pretty good, so maybe there is something to
eat more at home.
Start.
You know what the NHL actually stands for? Is Never Hungry League.
Exactly.
Okay?
I understand that now.
What was one of the things you're like shake your head about with the whole trip? Is it the planes? Is it the meals? Is it the hotels?
Well, the first time on the plane, you come on the plane and halfway through there's the snacks and stuff, the food there. And I figured, okay, well, that's the meal on the plane. That's kind of nice. So then you sit down and take off, and the stewardesses are bringing you these big 5-star meals, as well. And holy. So that blew me away the first time, so I wasn't expecting that. And then the pregame meals that you have here, you walk into, and it's a smorgasbord of everything. And so, yeah, it's
a pretty good league.
Pretty good life. Yeah.
Pretty good life.
Yeah.
This would be the best league. There is no other
There
lake.
is the rest.
No,
That's
no,
right.
it's
That's right.
yeah, it's well worth all the effort that they put into getting here. Yeah.
Well, I've asked the players for their stipend that they get on the road, and Chaser and I are going to take that money and we're going to go to that bar tomorrow where there's some wings and stuff, and we can talk a little football, get ready for the Super Bowl, and really discuss maybe some school and educational things.
Education.
Yeah, because
Hockey.
I could use some help on that for sure. Anyway, we're gonna wrap things up here. The Blues are about to get to their morning skate, so alongside Kelly Chase and Dan Bowmeister, a pleasure having the Pops on the road, all the dads. It's great stuff. And in fact, we got a brother as well. Vladdy Tarasenko's younger brother Valentine is also on this trip as well. But tonight the game is at, hold on, let me get this straight. It's 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Puck drop right after that. Pregame show, 5:30. Oh, I did it right. Have a great day, everybody.